Hi there, you're listening to Radio Cardiff, and this is Unity in Our Community. I'm Jessie Grace, and I'm here till 3 p.m. I've got a really special guest today. Today, we are talking to Ethnic Minority Welsh Women Achievement Association, who lift up women of ethnic minorities, and they've got an awards ceremony as well. So I'd like to welcome Nisha. Hi.
Hi, Jess. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me live in the studio today to talk all about this amazing thing that you've started. I think it started back in 2011, so it's been going a while, but I keep seeing it popping up on my social media, and I see some familiar faces who are finalists this year, so that's really, really brilliant.
Absolutely, Jess. Year on year, the EMWWAA, or as you mentioned, Ethnic Minority Welsh Women Achievement Association, have been going year on year strength as the sun is shining today.
Yeah.
You know? And yes, absolutely right. Our charity has been growing and growing very strong, actually. And I think this year we have got so many amazing, credible finalists on our books that, I'm struggling to keep up with all the names myself.
Yeah, it's big.
Absolutely. But going back to, the inception of EMWWAA, actually it goes back a couple of earlier years, should I say, back in 2008.
Okay.
And the founder, Professor Meena Upadhyaya, she is a profound geneticist from Cardiff University.
Wow.
And she attended the Welsh Women Awards back in 2008. She was nominated as one of the finalists.
Yeah.
But from not winning, she, at the time, noticed Asian women were underrepresented amongst these finalists at this particular award. Which was really interesting back then as well. So then she, with her determination and perseverance, as Professor Meena has loads of, and her own positivity, I guess, she went on to create this platform to recognize women. At that moment, back in 2008, it was specifically focused on Asian women, but this has now since grown in the focus on the identity of ethnic background.
Yeah.
And she then recognized talent and wanted to increase women's self-esteem. Hence, the EMWWAA was initiated in 2010.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, she back then she had support from Jane Hutt, who's our patron, who's the Deputy Minister and Chief Whip in the Senate, and the other patron being Julie Morgan, who's also Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services, and they have supported us in this charity since then.
Oh wow, that's brilliant! It's nice to hear how it's all started and developed, and then today in 2023, look where you are.
Absolutely, and I think with Professor Meena's courage and determination and wanting to provide this platform, it's all about promoting equality. It's about promoting diversity, community cohesion, integration. Just like your unity in the community.
Yeah.
I love the name of the show.
Yeah, because we want to highlight people like yourselves, and the charity and all the positive things that happen in the community.
Indeed. And I think it's more prevalent now in terms of what's happening around us and the diversity that we have in ourselves in Wales, Cardiff, let alone. You walk outside and you're enriched with culture. And
I love it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's amazing the amount of food that's available.
Yummy.
And I myself, I'm originally Malaysian. I came 25 years ago to do my own degree and stayed on because Wales attracts. There's something about the Welsh culture that attracts us here, which is lovely.
Yeah, I just moved from England, but
still,
that's not that far.
We love the sea, right? We love the sea.
Yeah, but also the Welsh culture, and I find it the friendliness,
Absolutely, and at the start back in 2010, my involvement, I had come back full round circle, moved to London, travelled for my own work, and came back in 2009 back to Cardiff, following my own journeys in life. Yeah. And I'd known Professor Meena for a good number of years then, and she got me involved, doing little things here, little things there, and I guess as EMWWAA grew, I grew with EMWWAA as well, and have been growing and identifying other women in similar situations like myself, going through various journeys in life, be they positive, be they negative, but being able to instill that I am part of something, I belong somewhere. And I think, I'm now a trustee. I'm also the secretary. So, there's a lot more involvement for where I come from. And certainly the trustee board has grown in, various sectors. We've been able to get people or gravitate women from various different backgrounds to help and be ambassadors of EMWWAA.
It's so important, isn't it? Because it just gives you, like that you said, that sense of belonging and that sense of support and recognition that you're, as a woman from ethnic minority background, you're actually getting recognised for your achievements or your journey, or because there's a lot of different categories you've got for these awards.
Indeed.
So it's not just like, it's very broad, I think. So that's good, because obviously people that do all sorts of things in life, don't they? So tell us a little bit about how those categories have developed, if you can.
I think in years, as EMWWAA as a charity, as an organisation has developed, it's been all about identifying, women who have gone through certain journeys in their own life and are doing their day-to-day jobs, really, and also those who have gone above and beyond what they do in order to support the communities in which they function in.
Yeah, there is a lot of women like that I know around, my colleagues, and they do go above and beyond. They work all hours. I mean, a simple thing we did last year that made quite an impact was the contribution to Ukraine, and we raised money by doing a walk around Roath Park. Oh, nice.
Where we had quite a number of people who turned up in support, and just doing the walk, we were outside. We were able to reflect on what's happening over there, and the women and the children that are taking a different journey, a rather challenging journey in their mind and soul, and in being uprooted from where they once was a safe haven, coming to the embrace and openness of Wales. And that's quite an impactful story, I guess.
Because you can't underestimate that the impact that would have had. Like, sometimes you do things but you don't realise, but it's like it's like it has an impact on our community because it's coming together and being in a community, and then also on the community that you were supporting.
Absolutely. And the other, besides the Ukraine war, we had COVID as well. And, one can only, we can't forget
I think we're still recovering from that. I'm still sneezing.
My sense of smell, not there.
Yeah.
But even through the challenges of COVID, we noticed so many women in different pockets of cultures, different pockets of towns and cities within Wales, having to manage and support the community through health, through buying groceries, through simple things that a lot of people couldn't do.
Yeah, but it is those simple things, I think, that make the difference sometimes, like the family things or I don't know, like as a woman myself, it's like you're always thinking about 1,000 things. You're always thinking about if you've got children, thinking about them, if you've got a husband, thinking about them, thinking about other people, really. Yeah. So, and doing other bits of work that might not normally be recognised, like that are in the home or in the community. So, it's so important to recognise those things, I feel.
And I think because there are, in particular with the focus on EMWWAA, there are women who have experienced barriers in language, barriers in culture, as you mentioned, barriers in appearance, barriers in religion. And these barriers come from the grassroots by doing these simple things, going to the shop or managing a business. These various barriers that I'm speaking about, language especially in particular, having the Welsh language to understand as well. I know a bit of Welsh, not too much, but enough to understand what's going around me. But that's because my mind is been trained to talk English and speak English and be able to, go through that transition and translate.
It's
but
so
many
hard.
Women don't have that.
Yeah, it is so hard. It's a real. like you say, it's a real barrier. And I used to see that working with some refugees, like they obviously they have ESOL and everything, and once they can start to have basic, it opens up so much of their life to just, and also it's like a confidence thing as well.
It is, and confidence comes with, understanding your environment, getting the right education in place, and sometimes you might be very educated in the country and language that you come from, and transitioning from a different country over here, and that's something I experienced when I came as a young girl, knowing Malay as my base language and the way I sat my exams and having to translate into English, and then coming to Wales.
Really hard.
It's challenging.
Yeah.
It was hard, but I was blessed to be coming from a family that gave that support to me. But not everyone has that support.
No, they don't. No.
One of the things that a lot of the trustees, we do a lot of work throughout the year, and there are a lot of the trustees that go into healthcare as well. And Professor Meena Upadhyaya, she leads the EMWWAA health section as well. And throughout the year, there are many programs being aware of menopause, for example. The talk and chat, which is quite current amongst women in terms of menopause, and in terms of understanding diabetes, understanding what other diseases that could potentially occur within your body, and how you can mitigate that, and what things you can eat, and simple tips and tricks that sometimes don't get to the families, and women are the hearts of these families,
of course,
within in particular the ethnic minority families.
So once you've kind of instilled that, you've kind of like had some of those tips, and they've kind of like they'll affect other people, it won't just be that one person, they'll affect all the people around them as well.
Absolutely, because the mother is the heart of the household, as you and I know, and there's a lot of juggling that we have to do. Which is inspiring, and it gets the message to the right communities, and I think that's really important as well. Whilst the messages are out there floating around, there may be when you have too much information, you almost want to focus that information to the right groups, so each group gets the message.
I mean, we do live in a world where there is too much information at the moment, don't we? And sometimes I feel like I need a brain rest,
Indeed.
Oh, so I'm going to play another tune now, and another Shaka-Khan. I don't know why, but they just kept coming to me today, and this is I'm Every Woman Sings. We're talking about women. We'll be right back.